Brother John here. I'm finally making another video. My mic quality is probably terrible. I'm ranking all of the enchantments from worst to best. I'll just format it on a tier list because I don't know what else to do. I don't. Yeah. So there's bottom seven. So these are the ones that are like clearly the worst. There's C, there's B, there's A, and then there's the top 10, which are the essentials, and you should have all the time. You should, if you have a world and you don't have these, you need to get them. Okay, so the first one, the last place is Curse of Binding. It's terrible. I don't need to explain it. Well, you just, it goes on armor, and then if you wear the armor, then you can't take it off until it breaks or you die. That's it. That's why it's bad. Curse of Vanishing is next, so obviously the two curses are at the bottom. No one's surprised by that. Vanishing doesn't really have a use, but it's not that bad, really. And in hardcore, it's completely useless, but I'm a Bedrock player, so my opinion may be different. Also, Sweeping Edge is not going to be in the list because that's Java Edition. Okay, so third last place is actually not Bane of Arthropods. It's Fire Protection. Fire Protection is useless. It's so bad. Never use it. Never. You could argue that Curse of Vanishing is actually better than Fire Protection because Fire Protection not only limits you from protection, but it's like you last a few seconds more in lava than if you had protection, and you're giving up protection to everything in the game just for fire protection. That's terrible. All of the protection enchantments that aren't just regular protection are going to be down here. Don't worry. Okay, so fourth place, or next one, number 35 is I'm trying to find it. Yeah, Bane of Arthropods. Okay, so I don't even need to explain this one. I'm just gonna skip that one. It makes you do more damage to bees, endermites, silverfish, and cave spiders and spiders. It's pretty bad. Next one, no surprise, another protection, blast protection. It's bad. I don't need to go through all the protections and explain them. Next one might actually be quite a surprise, but it's Frostwalker. It's Frostwalker, because it's just, why would you have this? Not only does it lock you out of Depth Strider, I think, yeah, but you're just not gonna need this. This is just for fun, and you can't even like run with it, right? It's not that good. Number 32 is Projectile Protection. It is the best out of the three protections. It's, at least for this, like, there's a lot of skeletons in the game, and projectiles are a lot more common than blasts or fire in the game, and that's why I put it higher, but it's still not good. Okay, so going into C tier, I got a crossbow enchantment, actually. I don't use them. Yeah, it's piercing. I don't use them that much, but so it's kind of hard to judge it. But I think piercing, it's a little weird because it's so like specific. Like, you have to have a mob behind the other mob for it to work, and it's just, you don't need it. It's kind of pointless. The crossbow enchantments aren't that good. Speaking of which, the next one is actually another one. It's multi-shot. The problem with this is that, again, it's pretty specific. Like, you have to have a bunch of mobs chasing you, and not only that, but it uses 3 durability. I don't care if it uses 1 arrow. Arrows are so easy to get. That wouldn't even be a problem if it used 3. But the durability is a big problem. If you're putting fireworks on this, you are using 9 durability. That is insane. I don't need to go into detail for most of these. It's pretty obvious. Next one is actually Lure. Fishing is kind of useless right now because villagers do exist, so you can get the other enchanting books. But Lure, it would be probably better if fishing was better. But yeah, it just makes lure, like, yeah, lure makes the fish faster. Yeah. And next one, I kind of didn't sort this. Knockback. It's like it's a controversial one. I know that, but knockback. Why would you like it? It when you're in another fortress and you're trying to fight like blazes or wither skeletons, you're just gonna kill them, and their loot's gonna go so far away. And usually, like, at least for this, there is a use. Like, if you're trying to fight to like avoid them, but that's like a random scenario, and you're not gonna enchant something just for that. So it deserves to be in C tier. And also, that the other enchantment that does that is punch. It's just knockback that goes on bows. I think it's slightly better because it doesn't affect the fact that it. Oh yeah, and for knockback, it if you're fighting a skeleton, it gives the skeleton the upper hand by giving them range. For punch, that's not as much of a problem. Like, you don't have them out of your range at that point because it's a bow. But I don't see a reason as much to use this, but that's why they're like basically tied. You could switch them. So the next one is something that is also probably pretty unexpected. Riptide. Riptide is not good. Okay, it's fun, but you can die to it, and it's yeah, it could kill you, and the circumstances for it are a little too specific. Like, it needs to be raining or you need to be in water, and only like 20% of the time it's gonna be raining. And it's good with elytra when you're raining, but it has to be raining or you have to be in water. So that's what makes it a little inconvenient. It's fun to use, but it also locks you out of loyalty, which, spoiler alert, is the best trident enchantment. It will be up high. Okay, so number 25. Okay, yeah, I should have remembered where all these were. Where is it? Here it is. Thorns. Thorns. I feel like it could have been lower, but it's actually really hard to make these. Thorns does extra damage to the enemy that attacked you, but it's like not that much damage, and it also uses extra durability, so it's not that good. I think it maybe is worse than some of these, but it doesn't really matter. And also, for some reason, Infinity's not in here, and Swift Sneak is not in here for obvious reasons. It's a newer enchantment. Both of them, they have yet to come, but the number 24 is Luck of the Sea. It's what brings it down, like, at least, like, what keeps it out of C tier is that it makes the fishing rod at least something you'd probably use sometimes, maybe. Like, it makes it so that the fishing rod isn't completely worthless. You have a higher chance of getting enchanting books, which is the entire point of it, except for fish, I guess. But when I use it, I don't see much of a difference. But it's B tier. It would be A tier if fishing was actually good. But number 23 was Swift Sneak, so it's not on here. Just pretend that it is Swift Sneak. It's like, it's pretty good. I didn't see it going in here in C tier, but it could have went in C tier. It's okay. It makes you sneak as fast as your regular walking speed, I think. It's mainly good for like raiding ancient cities, but that's it. It could be used for something. I don't know. It didn't feel right putting in C tier, but I think it would be correct to put in C tier as well. Okay, so number 22 is Fire Respect. So if I got this, like, if I found this in a loot chest and I got it, I would probably use it a bit, but I'd never actually enchant it onto my weapon because, early game it's actually really good. It's pretty good early game because it actually cooks the animal meat for you, which is very, very useful. It saves you on a lot of fuel, but late game it's worthless, and when you're trying to fight Enderman, it's an absolute pain, especially on Bedrock, because they keep teleporting whenever they take damage, and it is just insufferable. You can't use it after early game, and just like the punch and knockback, I am actually putting Flame right next to it, so it's just Fire Respect by on bow. Flame, I don't think it doesn't have, like, the thing that just edges it out for me is that it doesn't have the Enderman problem, because you're never going to be shooting Enderman with a bow anyway, because they teleport. That's like the only thing. It was kind of hard to differentiate like the bow and sword enchantments that are like the exact same. Like power and sharpness are really hard to do. I don't even know if I did the right choice still. Okay, so kicking into the top 20 is Impaling. So this one differs between each edition the most, I think. Like in Java, this could be argued as a C tier, but in Bedrock, it actually is made so that it works on any underwater mob. These could be knocked higher. I think it could be, but B also works, I think. It can like destroy drowns, which is something Java it couldn't do. But unlike Java, drowns are an absolute nightmare in Bedrock. So I have the strong urge to put Impaling up here, but this isn't a regular tier list. This is a ranking, so that would kind of mess it up. Okay, so number 19 is actually Infinity. I put it up so high because I didn't really know where to put it, because Infinity is not good, really. It's not that good, because it doesn't go with Mending. It's the only enchantment in the game that doesn't go with Mending, and when you think about it, it doesn't give Infinity. Because the bow only has a certain amount of durability, and arrows are not that hard to get. I have 3 sources in my world, like a skeleton farm, a bartering system, and the Fletcher. There are so many ways to get arrows. Oh yeah, and the crafting recipe, but no one cares about that. The crafting recipe is irrelevant. They could remove it and I wouldn't even care. Number 18 is Smite. If this enchantment couldn't go on axes, it would be in C tier. It would be, because it can't go with sharpness. So a tip I have is put Smite on your axe, especially if you're in Java. Put Smite on your axe, not your sword. Sharpness is for your sword. Smite is for your axe. That's it. And just in case you didn't know, Smite does more damage to undead mobs. I don't know why you'd really want this on a sword, because sharpness just does that for you. It's pretty good. It being locked out from sharpness makes it not as good, but it would probably be overpowered if it could go with sharpness. So it's balanced. It's well balanced. So going into the A tier now is 17. Number 17 is Quick Charge. This is easily the best crossbow enchantment. Like, it makes the crossbow downside like less of a problem. Like, of course, there bows and crossbows have pros and cons, and crossbows con is that it has to be charged up first before using it, so you can't rapidly use it like a bow. But Quick Charge changes this, so it's less of a problem, and it's essential for any crossbow. Even though I don't know if this is the right spot, because I never use crossbows. I think a lot of people could agree, so I put it in A tier. And also with this is Channeling. Channeling could also be argued to be in B tier. It like summons lightning when it's thundering. The big downsides obviously are that thundering is rare in the game, like slightly rare, and it can only be used for a certain amount of things, but the things it's used for are really useful, like charge creepers or brown mushrooms. It's like a really helpful way of getting mob heads. It's fun. It's deserving of A tier. I don't care what you say. Number 15 is actually it's not too high, but it's surprisingly high. Soul Speed. It single-handedly makes Soul Sand Valley the best biome in the game. The only problem about this is that it uses durability, which was a very, very unnecessary change. But I still think it's deserving of A tier. And if you combine it with water, and Depth Strider, with the Soul Speed and maybe Dolphin's Grace, that's optional, you can make a very fast path. and it's just fun to use. It also deserves A tier, obviously. And number 14, 13, and 12 are all aquatic enchantments. These are all good. They could be switched around, and I agree with you. Respiration is number 14. I don't know how I decided what the difference would be. There really isn't. All of these are really good, and all of these should be on your armor. Respiration allows you to be underwater for a significantly longer amount of time. Aqua Affinity, I think, is number 13. It's right here. It makes it so that what's good about this enchantment too is that it's one, so you could easily find it on like a level 7 enchanting table enchant. So it's so easy to get on your helmet. But I'd suggest just putting protection first and then finding an enchanting book. But Aqua Affinity makes it so that the the decreased efficiency in water is just completely ignored. It's so good. And with the last one is Depth Strider, I think is the best. It's the best by like an inch, but all of these are just so good. I didn't know. Depth Strider makes you go faster in water, and you can walk in water faster, which is so convenient because swimming can be a little tedious. And they barely didn't get top 10 because there's just essentials. Look down here, there's a ton of essentials down here. Number 11, barely not making it to the top 10, is loyalty. Though this enchantment does need credit. It is the reason why tridents are so good. If this enchantment didn't exist, tridents would not be worth it, especially on Java. But loyalty prevents your trident from really being like lost or despawned, because without this you could lose it sometimes, and it would just be really 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 annoying. But with it, it just comes right back to you. It's so good. It barely makes top 10 because look at these. Look at these. Except for sweeping edge, that doesn't count. They're all essentials, and loyalty barely didn't make it. Barely. It was pretty close. But if you have a trident, get this every single time. Ignore Riptide. Just get this every time. Number 10, Feather Falling. Okay, so keep in mind top 10. You could switch these around, except for a certain two, and I'd agree with you. These 10 are amazing. Feather Falling can save you so many times. It's fun to just like fall very far down and just know that you are not going to take any damage, because this does not have the problem with like these three protections down here. It stacks with protection, which makes the falling damage reduction even better. It is crazy. I have it in my world, and it is just so fun. Looting is number 9. I don't really know. Hold on, man. I don't. I just got stupid. Okay, well, looting. I mean, I feel like Feather Falling could be better, but looting can give you a lot of extra materials like bones, rotten flesh, more food. It can give you just any mob drops increased. I haven't really explained what all these were, but you can find out yourself. I don't care. Fortune is basically like looting, but it's better. It's number 8. You could argue it's better. I'd agree with you, but the problem is, if you put on shovels, it gives you flint every time. If you get Fortune 3 on shovels, it gives you it every time. It's guaranteed. And flint is stupid. It should not be in the game. It's used for 3 crafting recipes. One of them you'll use once. The other you'll use once because just Fletcher. And the other is arrows, but there's so many easy ways to get arrows. It's not that hard. So just having it on a shovel is so inconvenient. So that's why it's barely like not higher. It's a little like stupid way to have it down low, but come on, these are all good. Just one small mistake and it's gonna go low. Silk Touch is actually better than these. Silk Touch is so good. Unlike Fortune, it guarantees gravel every time. It can be used on a number of blocks, like tens of many. Like you can use it on ice to make very fast bridges. You can, of course, guarantee gravel. You can break so yeah. I don't remember all the blocks, but it's actually. Oh look, no, I won't. I won't. I don't. This video is probably all long enough already. Number 6 is power. Uh, it's of course spoiler alert. Sharpness is next, but I had troubles figuring out which one would be higher because they are the same thing. Once again, this does more damage on bows. This does more damage on swords and axes. But no, who cares? Power, like I really didn't have reasoning to separate like why sharpness is better. They could be like changed, but I think sharpness you're gonna be doing more with. I don't know. I have no reasoning here. They're like equal. They're basically equal. It's the closest to equal that you'll get on this list. Number 4, protection. I'm sure no one's surprised that these are the top 3, but protection is an essential. It's essential. If you once you get protection 4 on your gear, it's hard to die. It is genuinely hard to die. You have to try to die. It is crazy. I don't know what the damage reduction is, but it is a lot. It is essential if you want to enchant your stuff. Number 3, efficiency. Efficiency, it saves you hours of time. It makes like mining a lot less tedious and boring. It's so fun to use sometimes, like on a shovel and just destroy a ton of dirt. But the only reason it's not top 2 is because come on, unbreaking number 2. It I don't remember how exactly it works. I'm pretty sure it triples your durability or something, or it decreases the chances of it using durability. But either way, it significantly increases your durability, and it should not need an explanation to explain why. And obviously, mending's number 1. No one saw this coming. It's on a tier of its own. It is amazing. It repairs your tools and weapons and armor with XP. Yeah, you don't get the XP. No one cares. You get infinite durability. It's so good. And with the 1.14 update, it's so accessible. And it's just, you should never not have this on your world. Always have this. I'm so glad they made it more convenient. Maybe it's a little like cheap. No, I don't care. It makes the game so much more convenient to play. And Mojang, please do not change it. Sweeping edge is not on this list. But damn it. Oh, it goes down there. This is definitely the enchantments of all time. Who's surprised that mending's up here? Who's surprised that cursed binding's down here? Let me know. Please subscribe. I'm probably gonna make a music disc tier list. Goodbye.